Welcome everyone to Foundations to Magic, and this is the altar class that I started as, and it really falls under Laurie Seacrest's body of work. She has trademarked everything. She is the steward of the Seventh Ray Mystery Schools, and we give honor to our teachers, our masters that have served humanity completely. As the Seventh Ray Mystery Schools is in Utah, in America. They are phenomenal. I highly recommend Googling them, finding out a little bit more information on where they are. They also do a whole bunch of online classes and empowerments. So if you are dedicated to a spiritual path, I would highly recommend going to see her or just connecting with her online. And so this is one of her bodies of work, and I'm a teacher under her ray or under her school, and therefore I can present this class. So please, if you don't mind, I'm going to be handing down these tools to you to be able to offer, and for yourself and for friends and family. If you can keep these tools to yourself, please do not teach this body of work. They are protected under copyright. And we can't unfortunately give this body work to other people, but we can do it for them. So that's the difference of what we say. So a altar, what is an altar? An altar is not a whole bunch of things placed on a table or a nightstand and then that's an altar. No, so the teaching goes deeper, and that's what you're going to be learning today. You're going to learn how to build and erect a very, very strong altar that forms a corner of light running from heaven to earth onto your altar, and from your altar into your room or into your home space. Very, very powerful if you're running healing centers, if you're doing yoga, if you're teaching meditation, if you're doing healings, if you're doing massages or beauty treatments. When people walk into your space, they'll feel something's different because there is light in your home, and the light that you are carrying or creating on your altar ripples through your entire home, then into your community, and then into your city. So that's how big this is. So it's we call it a foundation class, but it's actually a much bigger class. And it really helps us going later on. When you study more with the mystery schools, you will have a solid foundation of knowledge. Okay, these come from Dr. Bob, a Native American shaman that taught Laurie, our teacher or our head steward of our mystery schools in the Seventh Ray Mystery School. Dr. Bob and Laurie used to run ceremony together for people that had drug and alcohol abuse symptoms, trouble in the family homes, and the altar was one of the tools they use in order to treat their patients coming through in ceremony space. And that is really very, very, very powerful to understand how powerful this work is, because it's the glue that switches everything on. So this, we call this a foundational class because it is really the starting of a very big journey into knowing yourself and becoming more empowered. And that's what the tools of the mystery schools do. They empower the individual to run healing centers, to own your own life, to take responsibility, to step into your power, to know what your gifts are, to understand who you truly are on a divine level. And that's what a mystery school does. It awakens you to that knowledge. A little bit about me. I've been doing the mystery schools since I was 16. So I got my first activation at 16. By 19, I became a adept. And from 19 to 40 years old, I have been walking this path very strong. So these tools have been with me for all this time. I've only recently joined Laurie's school. I was with an older school before, and for many, many years, and I joined her school, and this was in her school. So for many, many years, I was missing the one key that switched it all on, and this was that one key. Okay, so you're getting that today as your starting point, because I feel it's such an important class. So in the mystery schools, the altar represents the face of God. Okay, so whatever we place it on the altar has meaning, has significance to you, has power. By putting things of power on a altar, you are anchoring that power in your life, in your subconscious, and then you're able to wield the power that you do have. Okay, so it's a very interesting concept. However, the more you work with it, you will start seeing how the magic just unfolds in your life, how you start believing in magic, because magic is just pure energy and manifesting in, according to your will, right? And so there's a few tools that you're going to need. Okay, I'm going to go over why we do the altar. I'll read that through from the manual now, and maybe I should do that now before we jump in. So the altar, and there's many things in your manual, and there's something called bridging. I'll create a video for that as well, so we've got that knowing. Okay. And on page 1 at the bottom, the qualities of considering why to build an altar, she says it's honoring of the god and goddess. Now, in our tradition, we believe that there's masculine and feminine, right? So on the left side of the body is feminine, on the right side of the body is masculine. Okay, so we've got male and female energy running through us all the time. And that is what we're talking about. Because we are a spark of divinity, we are just a reflection of who they are, basically. So we believe in masculine energy, feminine energy, or god and goddess. Okay, the best way I can describe that is to say you are a mom, then you were a sister, a daughter to someone, you were a friend to someone. You had different ways of working or different modes of working depending on your situation you were in. So when you're a mom, you're nurturing your kids, and when you are a sister, you're being that sister to your family, and you're looking after and you're nurturing in that way, and that is your mode, and that's what we call the god and goddess. Basically, we have different flavors of the same thing. We have different jobs, different roles, and each role requires me to be stern, to be strong, to be loving, to be kind, to be joyous. And this is what we call the different faces of God. Okay, so when we do an altar, we are anchoring divinity into your home space. Okay, you can call that the creator, you can call that God. Okay, this tradition works with Kabbalah, so it works with all religions on the planet. There's nothing that is wrong or right of here. We are omnistic, which means that we believe in everything that everyone else believes in. Who am I to denounce someone else's religion? I honor all religions, all paths, all energies. So in this tradition, the best way I can describe it is you still keep your belief structure as it is. It just complements the work you're already doing. Okay, so if you're doing healing, I highly recommend you put your tools of power on the altar, okay, to charge up. Okay, so if you are a tarot reader or a reader, your oracle cards go on the altar to charge. If you have crystals, put them on. You will just see how they wake up, basically. They have energy thereafter. Your rings you wear often, your pendants you wear often, your wedding band, if you're finding you're having issues in relationship, put your wedding band on the altar. It will charge with very sacred energy. And then when you put it on, you'll feel that you tune into the new vibration energy. Okay? And that's the difference of the work we're doing. So on the 1st of every month, we redo the energy. So every 1st of the month, we blow cinnamon into the home space. We smudge our home. Okay, I'll have a segment about smudging before we continue. And then we recreate our altar. Because the 1st of the month represents the whole month, let's say the whole month of January, the whole month of February. And we are locking in that energy for that whole month on that first day. By creating your altar on the 1st of every month, you're locking in the energy of that full month, all the good, all the possibilities, all the creative energies that you want to start tapping into, so that you have a lot more flow happening in your life, whether it is business, relationships, anywhere that you're needing more flow to happen, basically. Okay, where's your finances? So the reason why we build an altar is to honor the god and goddess, our beliefs and the powers that be, celebrating divine unions, anniversaries, birthdays, new beginnings, completions of life, celebrating our connecting of aspects of roles in our life, such as a maiden, mother, maiden, a change of life, let's say your 40s, your 21st, any of these marking of a celebration in your life, we want to have an altar present, because your angels, your guides will serve on your altar. And that's a very interesting thing. We have this physical body that controls and holds our soul in place, and that's very, very sacred, right? And the best way I can describe it, on the altar we'll have a column of light running from your altar up into heaven. It runs continuous light into your home, into your space. That becomes the body for your angels to step into, basically, so they can serve on your altar. If you call in Archangel Michael, please be on my altar, and you say his name 3 times and you command him to be there, a small part of his energy will come down and it will settle on your altar because of that body of work. Okay, so very, very sacred, very holy. Okay, keep it holy, keep it sacred when doing this work. Always be in a good headspace. Another working altars are designed to elicit changes in growth, status, attitudes, and life circumstances. So you'll see as soon as you anchor light into home, immediate change happens, immediate good change happens. You'll see it rubs off on you, it rubs off on the people coming into your space. People, when they come in, they immediately feel like a home. It's the energy of your soul that comes down on your altar, and that's why it's so important. I always recommend having 2 altars, by the way, one by your front in your lounge and one in your bedroom. So if the maid messed up one of them, there will still be one active. Basically, you'll notice who can come into your space and who can't come into the space. If they don't come visit anymore, that's a good thing, because something is on them that should not be in your home space and it can't handle the light coming down. Okay, so just be very aware. So like, you can have a workspace in a cupboard, you can have an altar space out in display. I'm very used to having our pieces out in the open so people can see it, they can connect to it. I find that works for me, but for you it might be scary, so I might just put it in a cupboard with my I will discuss all the tools we're going to need, and you can set it up in the cupboard, open the cupboard when you need it, close the cupboard when you don't. That's another way to work behind the scenes without anyone knowing, but the process is so quick once you know how to activate the altar. That energy runs continuously for the entire month until you break it down or you change it again, and then you reset the energy by resetting all the steps that you have taken in. Okay, the altar is the face of God, so we want to bring on anything that represents God. Basically, beautiful flowers, fresh water, new incense all the time, new candles all the time. So these things burn up and we use them on the altar, and we can just refresh each item as we need them to keep it fresh on the altar. Make sure that your altars are nice and clean, that there's no dust settling on them. If it is, just take some Florida water, wipe the things down with Florida water. If you have holy water, use holy water. If you don't have any of the above, you can put your hands over in a triangle, put it over water, speak through the triangle over a glass of water. I'll show you now. And you can say Psalms 91 over that water. It will be very highly protective. Psalms 91 over a white candle is just as holy and just as protective. So if you're feeling that you need a little bit more protection energy in your home, you can't sleep at night, your child's not sleeping in the bedroom, just a Psalms 91 over tea light candle on a fireproof bowl. As long as that candle's burning, that whole space is protected. Okay, very, very protective energy. And we'll discuss how to cleanse your home, how to smudge, how to get rid of all the negative energies. What do you need to do in order for that to be neat and tidy? Okay, we'll cover all of that in this video. I'll do probably most likely 2 videos for this one. One for the making of the altar and one for the bridging of the altar. And when we say bridging, we go up into a sanctuary. Okay, it's called the sanctuary meditation. And in the sanctuary, we bring your higher self in, and we meet your higher self for the very first time. That relationship is your most important relationship in this lifetime. It is the part of you that is the highest potential you are going to grow towards. And yeah, you're in contact with this part of you, that's part of your soul, that's in your sanctuary. It's a meditation we'll guide you up into, okay? And we bring your higher self into the room, we see your higher self, and we literally take this altar that's in front of us and we take it up into our sanctuary, and we lock it in place over there. So then we bridge in heaven to earth, is the best way to describe it. Your sanctuary is your ultimate protection space. It's the world between the worlds. It's shamanic. It is something that you will grow as you grow in energy. Your sanctuary will change and become better, more vibrant, way bigger, you know, each time you use your sanctuary. And it's like 2 hours of being in your sanctuary or even just like 20 minutes of your sanctuary is like an hour's worth of sleep. So it's really rejuvenating for your body. It realigns you to your lines, gives you back your purpose, puts you in full contact with the hierarchy of lines and your higher self. And there's many things we can do in the sanctuary part. Okay? So bridging is simply on page 7 is your ability to be able to go up into your sanctuary, see your altar there, have a physical representation of here, and we're pulling divine light from that your soul into the physical realm. Then what we do with the altar is we can call an angel, Archangel Michael, say his name 3 times onto your altar, and then we're giving the angel a body, a way to be here in the physical. Okay, one of the biggest things that we don't get taught or we don't teach our children is the fact that we don't share that they have full ability to be in the light, to coin an angel. We are human, we're allowed to coin angels, we're allowed to command an angel, we're allowed to ask them for help. And until then, they can't help us. So if our lives are in a little bit of a sham, or we're in a little bit of a pickle money-wise, and that's the thing, and we just need things to move, we can call in one of the angels that works with this deal, and then ask them to solve it for us. They'll give us the energy to be able to make that work happen. And it's not very easy to understand. Once you understand magic, you understand that these things are real. They sit behind the veil. They've always been there. They've always been watching you. They've always been looking after you. They've always been making you grow. The fact that you're watching this video today is testament that most likely your angels have brought you to this class. And that's the power of you asking, I just need help. I need the universe to change something about my life. And then the universe put things in motion to get you here today. Okay, so very, very cool. And one of the other things of creating altar is creating space to encourage specific moods such as romance, peace, tranquility, creativity. Okay, look at color therapy for your altar class. Today I'm working with the red altar cloth. Okay, it's quite a nice one. And red is really for passion, if you want passion or energy in a space. Okay, very, very good one. I would not use red when I'm having a lot of arguments in a space, because red will bring like a red flag in front of a bull, or it will bring out more aggression. So just know your color therapy for the scarf or color. You need a scarf or a tapestry to go on to your altar or your altar cloth. Okay, that's one thing you really do need. Okay, I'm going to go through all the elements that you're going to need as well. Your centerpiece can be anything. You are going to dream your centerpiece. Now, I didn't believe that. My centerpiece that's on my main altar as we speak was in a dream. I got this class from Laurie. That night, she said, oh, we'll dream our centerpiece. I didn't believe her. I'm like, whatever. That next day, I flew to Joburg, and my centerpiece was on a holistic shelf. So the piece got given to me in my dream. When I got to the little healing center I was working at in Joburg, on the shelves was the exact piece that I dreamt. Okay. The other part of that is it can be anything. It can be an angel, it can be a Buddha, it can be a crystal, it can be anything that represents power for you, anything that represents anchoring light. Okay. So this is a beautiful archangel that we're going to be using today. So you're going to need one centerpiece. You're going to need a scarf. Okay. You're going to need a chalice with water in. Now remember, I said you can bless the water. If you have holy water, you can put holy water in. If you don't have holy water, you can use Psalms 91 through a triangle. Okay. All blessings get done through the triangle, represents Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So you can say and empower things in the physical world using this technique. So this is a chalice. You need this wine glass figure that comes out, and that is going to what you need. You can't have a little mug basically of water. It will still represent water or the element of water, but the keys here is you want the shape, because there's a reason why later on that I'll explain to you. Okay, so one chalice with water inside to represent the element of West. Okay. Then we've got a fat candle, And this one represents self for fire. Okay, so we will go through these elements later, so don't worry. Another element you could use for water will be a shell. Okay, then I've got some incense to represent east and air. Okay. Then we've got another thing you could represent air will be feathers, because you know, if you really think of that. Okay. Another piece you can use for fire can be a charcoal piece, that is also ideal. Okay. And then we need some crystals. So we need a crystal for the element of north. So notice we've got north, south, east, and west. Okay. North is earth. Okay, a big crystal for earth. We need a longer crystal that can fit in your hand to draw a banishing earth pentagram, and I'll explain what that is later. Okay. And then we need a dipping stone. A dipping stone is to take the holy water and to bless the four corners of the altar. If you had a big space or big table I'm using, I'll go to the very ends of that table with blessing that water. So you've got 3 crystals. Okay, one to represent north, one is a dipping stone, and one that is going to draw a banishing earth pentagram. Okay, I'll do it again. So it's from the bottom left up to the top of the head, down to your right, left shoulder, right shoulder, back, and then you poke it in the middle. That is your banishing earth pentagram. And what that represents, if you open up the human body, we are spirit, representing the top of the head, and we've got the elements below us. Okay, starting with your left foot, you've got earth, then you've got air, then you've got spirit, then you've got water, and then you've got fire. Okay, so that's usually what the pentagram means. And when we're saying banishing earth pentagram, we're going to put that banishing earth pentagram on the altar. And what that's going to represent, let me just draw this a few times. Here, up, down, left, right, close it, and poke it. Okay, so it's here. And just so you can get that visual of what that looks like. Okay, we're going to be drawing it on the altar, and when we draw the symbol, we're banishing everything into the earth. Okay, the earth is the only one strong enough to hold negative energy and transmute negative energy. Okay, that is its function. That's what the earth does. Mother Earth, if it looks at all of us on this beautiful planet Earth, is dealing with all the humanity stuff and is transmuting it and bringing it back into light and giving it back to the people in front of you. And it's a very, very interesting way to understand. So when you're drawing an earth banishing pentagram, if you're coming across someone that has got a little bit of dodgy energy, you can use these 2 fingers, right hand, draw energetically with your mind's eye, and just send it to that person. If they are a nasty person, if they are a negative person, if they need to wake up their energy in the physical, just one, okay, knock it in, poof, on the person. You will shift that person in their day and they'll become a better person, or they'll start slowly waking up to becoming a better human. And that's the whole point of Amish schools. We're not sending them bad luck, we're only sending good energy, and we then anchor that light in. So I'm going to show you how to activate the altar for today's class. I know it's been quite long and me rambling, okay, and very, very, very powerful. So I find 2 altars in the space, one in living room, one in bedroom. Dream space at night is very important. You can also have one at work if you want. If you have a healing studio or a yoga room or a room dedicated to your spiritual growth, I will put it in that room, okay? Because that room holds a lot of your personal journey energy, okay? When you meditate, you'll go deeper, it will work even better, and it'll unlock energy that sometimes we're not in the best headspace to hold high energy all the time. We have dips in our energy where we're not functioning at our highest potential. These tools, these techniques, like the altar class, will hold the energy. So when you can't hold the energy, your tools become highly charged, everything putting on the altar becomes highly charged. It becomes really holy, very sacred. And just keep it that way if you don't mind. Anything going on your altar, make sure that that does not land up in the bin. It's holy from that point on. So we gift it to someone else if we don't use these tools anymore. Find someone, give it as a gift, and bless them with that path. So the altar class, I'm starting that now. I see it's 25 past, okay? And we are going to go into how to build your altar and the things you need. So recap, 1 scarf, okay? You will need 4 candles, 4, okay? 4 candles. I'll explain why. 1 to represent self, and 1 to represent the goddess, the god, and the child god. Okay, if you think of it, we are the child god, so that kind of represents all humans on the planet. Is a good way to give you that understanding. Okay, so I'm going to go to page 8, and you can follow along. There's just one part that was not typed out lekker, and we're going to guide you through that part. Just being extra, I'll repeat what I'm doing with that one part that's not so clear in these notes that I find people get stuck on. So this is the point of this video, is to take you and to make you more proficient and make it real. Because once an altar is on, you will never forget it, okay? You'll feel it. When people walk into your space, they'll feel light, they'll feel good. If they have anything negative in the aura, it will be sucked up into the light and be transmuted. Okay, so that's the point of the altar, is to anchor massive amounts of light in an area. The more light and more people having altars in a country, the crime rate will immediately drop. Basically, your house becomes protected, you are protected, your clients are protected. If they have negative energy, the altar will transmute that. Okay, so enough of the rambling, we're going to continue. So you're going to take your scarf and you put your hands in on the scarf. It can be any size, any color. Remember, color therapy, depending on the energy. So this is color red. So I'll be working with passion today. This will be a passion altar, okay? And we're going to say where it says, sacred altar, realms of vision, symbol of the integrated being, the ground beneath our feet, acceptance supports the weight of my intent, prepare the way for good works, and offerings as a mutually beneficial to all, okay? You can blow that in as that intent. So I'm going to lay this out in front of me. Okay, so this, you do need a altar class. I've had people ask me, do I already need to have an altar class? And my answer is yes, because we want the color. Okay, we want to tell the angels what we want to manifest. If I put green on, I'm asking for abundance. I'm asking for more clients. I'm asking for things that are good. Okay, notice that I'm putting the intent of what I just said into the fabric. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take the centerpiece. Now your centerpiece can be anything: a Buddha, a angel, anything that's sacred to you, a dragon, a picture of Jesus, or a statue of Jesus. That's perfectly fine as well, or any other religious item that you might have. Okay, so it doesn't, all churches use altars. The Catholic Church uses altars. Okay, many churches actually have an altar space. They burn incense. They have holy water. They have anything that's sacred. So this is not too far off, basically. Okay, so your centerpiece goes in the center of your altar. Okay, and we're going to bless it quickly. So notice that everything is blessed on this altar. It's not a whole bunch of things thrown on a piece of paper and now we call it an altar. It's doing nothing. At that point, it holds no intention. But what we're doing with this class is we're anchoring an intention into each item and we're saying a little bit of something. Okay, so I'm going to say this one. It is blessed catalyst of the center, representative of the mysterious void, anchor this altar in all things placed here. O entity center, element of universal self, blessed be. Okay, so now it's a part where people get a little bit wonky, and it doesn't have to be that way. Choose your far left corner of your altar. Okay, we're going to start off with the crystal for north, okay? So we're going to say where it says, O entity of direction, element, blessed be. So it will be, O entity of north, element of earth, blessed be. And then I'm going to place it to the far left of my altar cloth, okay? My far right side is my element of air, and I'll go. Now these words aren't in there, you'll just need to listen to this again. O entity of east, element of air, blessed be. So this has incense inside, okay? Then we're going to go, O entity of south, element of fire, blessed be. The last one is west and water. O entity of west, element of water, blessed be. So let's go through it again. O entity of north, element of earth, blessed be. O entity of east, element of air, blessed be. O entity of south, or element of fire, blessed be. O entity of west, element of water, blessed be. Okay, so that's where people get a little bit, because it hasn't been written out. This is the part that people get stuck, and this is the part that I'm going to ask you to re-watch over and over and over. Okay, now I've got them on the four corners of, and then my centerpiece. Okay, then what we're going to do is we are going to light the incense, and we are going to say, alright, so we lit the incense, we were burning it. This is called Nag Champa incense. It is one of the incense that we ask you to burn. Okay, it's very protective. It brings blessings into a home. You get a blue and white and red box. It's very thin, and it needs to have the bands, plastic bands on the sides of the box for the original Nag Champa, and very, very, very powerful incense to burn. Okay, it brings in blessings. This is why we're burning it. So we're going to say, by this incense, I cleanse the space. By this incense, I cleanse the space. And notice I'm just going clockwise. By this incense, I cleanse the space. 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 Okay. So really not hard to understand. Each one is just blessing an item, giving an intention. Okay, so it shows you how powerful words become because we are locking energy in with each step. Okay, so now the next one will be by air and fire I sanctify. So I'm going to light my south candle. Okay, the one. Okay. All right. And I can take the long crystal that fits in my palm of my hand, okay? Or I can just use my fingers, right hand, these two fingers, index and middle finger, represent fire and air, okay? And if I have the crystal, I'm doing that for you, okay? And what I'm doing is I'm drawing up some of the flame energy, okay? I'm visualizing it, and I'm going to draw that earth banishing pentagram. So and if you want to Google, look at the earth banishing pentagram. So it looks like this. And poke it in the middle. So I'm drawing it big with that fire energy of the candle. And I'm saying, by air and fire, I sanctify him. Okay. Then we're going to take a dipping stone. Okay. So it can be a pebble or a tumble piece of from your scratch patch stones, that's perfectly fine, or river stone or beautiful rock you have. Okay, it doesn't have to be fancy. You go into your water, okay, your blessed water, sanctified water, your Psalms 91 protection water. Okay, you can use either of those. And I'm going to touch the four corners of my altar, and I'm designating how big I want this altar to be. Okay, I'm touching it into the water. I'm dabbing the water. Okay. So now we're going to do it with the saying, by water and earth I purify. 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 You can also put a little bit in by the centerpiece as well. So it's the four corners. By water and earth I purify. 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 And then I just put a little drop by the centerpiece as well. Okay. Now what I've done is I've really fired up this energy. Okay. Now the next part is where they say athame. Okay. You can have an athame, a double-ended blade. Okay. If you type in athame, you can Google what that looks like. It's a double-edged blade knife. Okay. That is what you would have used instead of this crystal to draw that pentagram. Okay, that's nice to do. Or you can use this crystal and you go into your chalice. Let me show you what that looks like. Okay, that's what it looks like. And I'll keep it there on the side of the altar. And I will say, okay, if you got the athame, you just simply put the athame in the water like the crystal. Okay, and you're going to say, through the blessings of the goddess and the god, I claim this altar as sacred. Okay, and this shape represents divine union. Okay, and the masculine and the chalice is the feminine. And when we go through the blessings of the goddess and the god, I now claim this altar space sacred. Very, very symbolistic, basically. Okay, very, very powerful wording. Okay, now you can do this next part over just one candle. If you have a healing center and you're just burning one candle and you're worried about fires and things like that, make sure that it's in a fireproof bowl. Okay, you can say all these blessings over this candle and that will work. Okay, but in our class today, we've got 3 extra candles. Okay, so remember I said 4 candles is needed. If you're going to be doing a bigger class, just say you're teaching a class now, then we will have a goddess candle, a god candle, and a child candle. The child will represent humans, by the way. Okay, so we're going to say the blessings through the triangle, okay, over the candle, and it'll be looking like this. O light of goddess moon, the great feminine one, bless this altar and all work upon it done. O light of God's son, the great masculine one, bless this altar and all work upon it done. O light of child stars, the great mysterious one, bless this altar and all work upon it done. Okay? Or if you only had the one candle, let's say you're not teaching a class and you're just doing a healing or meditation or any of that sort of thing, you could say all 3 of those blessings over this candle. So it will be, O light of goddess moon, the great feminine one, bless this altar and all work upon it done. O light of God's son, the great masculine one, bless this altar and all work upon it done. O light of child star, great mysterious one, bless this altar and all work upon it done. Okay. Now it's really important. Okay. We're going to put our hands in triangle. We're going to put it over the centerpiece and we're going to say the last wording. O powers that dear congregate to the righteous work I dedicate my will, my purpose to integrate. The sacred altar I hereby consecrate. Okay. Now, you'll feel energy above you, like a bubble of light, a column of light. Now we're going to take that light, we're going to pull it down over the altar, as big as your altar, however big that is. Visualize it with all your energy. Okay. And then you're going to activate your altar, you simply light these 3 candles. Okay, this candle is already lit, so if I set it over one candle, it will already be here. But the energy will come down, we anchor it, okay, we lock it in place. We will then light these 3 candles, and then your body should feel heat, tingly, like there's a presence over here, there's an energy over here running. Now this will be a column of light that runs continuously. This is your altar class completed, basically. This is your altar fully activated and it's now switched on. And if this candle burns completely down, I just put a new candle and refresh it. Okay. The water in your chalice can be thrown out every single day. New water can be put in. Your incense will burn up. You just relight a new incense. As long as you haven't removed one of these items off your altar, this altar remains on. Okay, it stays on and runs light continuously. So well done. Thank you so much for the class. And the reason why I was also just asking quickly, if you don't mind, what we need to do is do the bridging. Okay, bridging is very, very important to bridge the light from your sanctuary into the physical world above your altar. That's really important. Okay, and the teaching for that is I want you to take the notes in the class just before page 8. I want you to read it out to yourself, record yourself guiding you in that meditation for bridging, and then you basically take this altar and take it up into something called your sanctuary, your place, a world between the worlds. Very, very, very potent and very strong way to do this. Well done on your altar class. I implore you to work with this daily. Sit in front of your altar, meditate in front of your altar, do your healings in front of your altar. If you're feeling not so lucky, if you're not feeling yourself, sit and meditate in front of your altar. Breathe in the energy of your soul, okay, because that's basically what it is. If you have medication, you can put it on your altar to charge. Your rings, your pendants, something special like a present can go on your altar, and then it will be highly charged by the time they open that present. So different ways of working your altar. Your herbs, your crystals can all come on your altar. You can dress your altar even more so. You can have beautiful flowers, little offerings. There's different ways of working an altar, and there's different reasons for you having an altar. But the most important one to understand is once you set up an altar and you feel the energy, you'll never go back to not having a normal home again. So well done to coming forward or stepping forward into this class. I welcome you to ask me any questions. I'm always your teacher, basically. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to answer them. Have a fantastic day further. Lots of love to all of you. Thank you for choosing this class, and we'll get through everything together. Lots of love. Have a fantastic one. Enjoy.